road noise is getting really bad, so I'm going to try and hurry up here before it gets too much. Start on the porch where my little planter, I have a self-seeded anishyssop that's kind of taken over the whole thing. But these are supposed to be scabiosa, I believe. My midnight jewel petunia is definitely not feeling its best. Celosia coleus, angelonia in the back, and something that kicked it. Tradescantia, coffee, very important. Parsley and basil, a couple types. Chocolate mint over there. Oh, somebody's washing their car. Of course they are. Dahlias. And have not deadheaded the roses. We did have really nice flush there. And I mentioned in the other video, it's 3 weeks between. This is the beginning of August instead of end of July, because oldest kid had to move back into the dorms. So yeah, so there's fruit on all 3 of the citrus, which is awesome. Well, I always leave this one out. That's the one grown from seed. It's not fruited. Planters. This is, well, that is an eggplant peeking through there. Maybe I should come back and cut some things out. Got Tulsi basil. Have some beans in there. The beans are definitely doing better in here. Got amaranth. My little plot of things I was going to put out front, and then they got dried out, and they had a little bit of rain overnight, but definitely super sad and overgrown stuff I was going to put out front. I always have the best intentions beginning of the summer, and as soon as it gets hot, I'm kind of like, yeah, it's not a great time for that. Bay laurel with some, I think those are catalpa seedlings coming through. The Edgeworthia, witch hazel, 2 figs, little maple my husband got, looking a little sad. Yuzu, so doing all right. Got the 2 hydrangeas. That one looks like it needs some feed. Maybe it's gotten probably way too big for its pot. Celery was doing great, and then again got dried out. I did start some seeds, so these are all veggies that are looking also not their best so far. Getting a little leggy. Amaranth there. Alright, and then we'll get to that real fast. Zinnias. Come back around. Let a borage grow up in the middle of the path here. See a lot of mess happening right now because there's not been any cleanup time really. It's an asparagus bed with pine berries. It looks like we got a little flower back there. We do have an ear of corn, looks like, that a squirrel planted for us. Had a large marigold that's flopped over. Strawberry hill. We got some liriope blooming in the middle there, and I'm going to dig that out and take it up front at some point. Looks like the passion fruit is getting comfortable. Mango pawpaw back there, doing well. Serviceberry, again, looking good. I have wisteria coming all the way through over there. You see lots of vines coming over from the lot, so I need to bat that back at some point, but again, hasn't been top of the priority list. It's been sort of survival mode lately. I don't know. The summer's been wild. Kind of looking forward to the days when I'll just be like a little old lady going out to prune her stuff every day, and it won't be a thing. Now that is blackberry. growing out, I guess, trying to catch the sun because all of that coming over. Echinacea is definitely worse for the wear. It's like the 3 weeks I was gone and things went a little wonky, and I just kind of haven't had time to correct anything. So that's Black Jewel Raspberry coming all the way over here. Tomatoes are just about done, which is fine because we've been up to our eyeballs in tomatoes. It's funny how much you look forward to them and then you're just absolutely sick of them. But I'm not quite sick of them. I shouldn't say it that way. Just you can't eat them fast enough. And I don't always have time to can them and make things with them. So that's the black cherry right there, which has been prolific. That's some kind of ox heart that is in my green zebra packet because I've never bought an ox heart. But it's, again, very prolific. And that one's a green zebra plant that's finally putting on some. And then I have a black creme over there, which is pretty much done. It's got a couple babies hanging on. But down here there is ground cherry that got real leggy. I haven't gotten many ground cherries this year because the rodents have been stealing them. And whatever was eating them, I guess, is done with them. I'm finally starting to get some. So opal basil, celery, some beans that I've just never really beaned, and Brussels sprouts, purple ball, basil, more celery. The celery should hang on through the fall, no problem. I did put them next to the emitters because they need more water. And that was the opal basil, ball basil. Looks like I got some borage popping up. The borage has been very comfortable this year. That was a bean plant there, and there is a little watermelon plant that is, not done well. Celery, okra, again, we'll probably not get to okra. Blueberries, shiso, which I've used a handful of times in stir fry, Tulsi basil, large leaf basil, or lettuce leaf rather. There's a little watermelon in here as well. My melons have not done anything this year. I feel like the one year I got melons, it must have been a fluke. I do know you're probably supposed to go back and put some compost on them, and I have not. Oregano, because again, it's just, we're doing whatever we can do. The kale, you can see, is all quite happy. It's definitely, if you can't grow anything else, you can grow kale. Brussels sprouts, and then all the peppers are starting to kick. Got poblanos there. Oh, and all of the beans on this side. Of course, they're all on top of the trellis, so I have to get my little step stool out to harvest them. Banana pepper. That is Hungarian paprika. Of course, got somebody else washing a car. Pimento. And I believe that one is maybe Purple Beauty, or maybe another pimento. That's an Ashe County pimento. It's going to be big for one of those. They're typically very small. Purple Beauty, Echinacea growing up in the walkway, the borage all growing up in the walkway. They probably need to take out. Murasaki peppers, which again is a very pretty plant and very prolific too. Lots of those little peppers. My shishito peppers have been sort of overshadowed this year, so not as prolific. See, I have a red Chinese yard-long little beans. Banana peppers. And and this one's a poblano. Rhubarb, large and in charge. The peach tree has had a little bit of dieback on the ends, again because the rain consistently for a month and then hardly at all. Little ground cherry there, rhubarb, hardy kiwi in the back. There is also the birdhouse gourd that is just eating everything. I'll come around the other way. And then, golly, and a plane coming over too. Nobody wants to hear this today, I guess. Honeycrisp apple that got split in half during Helene. Last Roma tomato hanging on. I took out everything else here. I had a pumpkin that was sprouting, so I just set it out for the wildlife and see if we get any pumpkins. I don't think there's time for that, but you know. Cauliflower. This is August. These have been in the ground since March. So, like, these things are enormous and have not yet flowered. I'm just going to put that out there. And that's with consistent watering and pretty regular fertilization. I don't know if I'm adhere to the schedule the best. Best artichoke I've ever had there. So that's really cool. I don't know why I was shrunk up there. Monster kale plant. Again, if you can't grow anything, you can grow kale. Tons of boards that spilled out into the yard. Got a ground cherry in there that's kind of good. Lord, the noise just like jumped up. Okay, speed run. Pretty much done with, for the most part, the squashes. There's still a little bit happening there. Martian corn was the experiment this year, and looks like, you know, maybe getting close to having some corn. We shall see. And they're not very tall. It's pretty, so I don't know if that means that's like nitrogen deficient or if that's just a smaller version of corn. And come around the debris pile so as not to stomp on the active boards, but that's the last Helene pile that I'm apparently never going to deal with. So I'm kind of letting these be, but there's no fruit on them. I do have a couple of pumpkins that are hanging on in here in this mess. That's definitely had its moment. Carrots are still going. That's from spring planting. Hopefully they're going to be sizing up soon. Brussels sprouts that I let stay in the ground. Finally got 2 figs yesterday off of my tree. Hooray for figs. And then, there's a tremendous gourd in there, but that's okay. There's baby gourd. And then hardy kiwi behind it. Blackberries growing well. The pawpaw is tremendous. Pink lady apple. A little bit of dieback. Lots of growth is what happens when it rains for a month and then it's dry for a couple weeks, and it's real hot. Can't support all the growth it's made. Quince there. This was the honeyberries. That one. Suncoast nectarine. There's my pumpkins ripening up. That was my peach, volunteer peach. Another honeyberry, that's the Czech 17. And quince. And this one I struggled a little bit, got a little dye back there. I need to come back and cut that. Handful of raspberries back here, but most of them have been coming from the other side of the fence. All the blueberries are done. And let me just say, to lamb's quarter, it's going up to the 2nd floor. And check in on my hydrangeas. That one seems particularly happy. And I have a canna growing up just out of the blue. Don't know why. The end.